What's up, guys, and welcome to the vlog. So the bike is officially back. It's been back for about a month now. It's been chilling at my buddy's house. We've been taking it out riding and stuff like that. It's been performing fine. I haven't noticed anything so far. I did want to address a couple things. So when I made the original videos back in, I think, February, I had already crashed the motorcycle and I didn't have enough time to film the I bought my brand new dream bike video. So I just filmed that video along with the I crashed my dream bike video at the same time. So a bunch of people were saying that it was parked in the same spot, which is true. Yeah, it was parked in the same spot. I made a video and I wanted to show off my brand new bike. But at the same time, I had already crashed it and everything else. And so I wanted to make both of those videos simultaneously because of the fact that I still had the bike. It wasn't on its way to the shop already. It wasn't in the shop, so I was actually able to have it here, get some videos, and put that out for you guys. I've gotten a lot of hatred for putting up those videos about the Harley and everything that happened. And I just want to say, I did not say anything wrong. I did not say anything false. The entire reason why I made that video, why I put it up, was just in case anybody else ever dealt with this issue. I will also mention that somebody had reached out to me and told me that the exact same thing happened to them. They were an experienced rider and their bike just went haywire on them and did all this crazy stuff like what happened to my bike. So they reached out to me, told me that they ended up switching it in and trading it in for a different bike, but they were actually able to prove that something happened to their bike and get it fixed through the dealership and everything. My case wasn't as lucky. They couldn't find anything actually wrong with the bike, even though this happened to me. The entire reason I made that video in the first place was just because I couldn't find any other videos of that happening to anybody else on the internet. So something I was glad about was at least one person was able to see this video and give a little bit of credibility to their story. I honestly don't care what any of you guys have to say about hating and saying that I'm a new rider and it's just because I smoke weed all the time and I do this and I do that. There's a lot of haters on the internet and I completely understand that fact. I understand that I, as a new rider, did put myself in a situation where I would look stupid by posting up this video and everything. But at the same time, I did this whole video just to be able to share my story of what happened with me. I'm not trying to fool anybody or say that I filmed that first video before the crash happened. I want everybody to know right now that that was not my intention. I was not trying to fool anybody, but I did want to make a video where I was showing off my brand new bike. Oh, I bought my brand new bike. And so I put that video out there. I also filmed a video about the crash and everything that happened just to give the details of the crash so that if anybody else dealt with that situation, I wanted them to be able to reach out to me and me be able to help them in some type of way. So a couple days after I filmed that original video, they came to pick up the bike and take it down to the shop to have them work on it. I never ended up getting a phone call saying that I had to go down and actually sign the check from the insurance company. So like a month later, I called down thinking, oh, well, they'll have some progress made on my bike already. And they told me that I would still have to sign over the check from the insurance company. So I ended up having to go down there, sign over the check, and then they were going to start the process. I asked them about how long it would take, and they said it usually takes anywhere from 2 to 3 months. So I began the waiting game. So I waited for a good couple months, and then I was calling down there trying to find out what was going on with it. They said they were waiting on one specific part. All the other parts had shown up. A little bit after that, about a month later, I called back again, and they still said that they were waiting on one part. A buddy of mine who worked down there actually told me that they were waiting on this part and that it was back ordered and it wouldn't be here until next year. So I called down there to try and find out what's going on. They told me that it would be getting off of back order in about 3 weeks and then they should be getting the part in. So about 3 weeks later, I called back. They had the part. It was coming in the mail. And then they called me about a week later and said, your bike is ready to pick up. So we went down there, picked the bike up, took it back home. Around this time, I was also waiting to get into the motorcycle classes. I signed up, I called in, and it was about a 2-month wait. So I actually booked a class, had to wait the 2 months, got in, got my certification, and I did really good. So after passing the training class, I've actually taken my bike out a couple times just to test drive it, make sure that everything's functioning properly on it. We've taken it from here in Fillmore all the way out to Ventura and back a couple times, and nothing's gone wrong with the bike. I haven't noticed anything, at least. I am very careful whenever I start the bike to make sure that my hand is on the brake, that the brake is engaged. That way, if anything faulty happens with the bike again, I am ready and I'm able to shut it down safely so that the bike doesn't get damaged. It's a little bit of a pain having to have my hand on the brake anytime I start that bike, even though I know I shouldn't have to, but it is good practice just to keep me on my toes with the bike. It is a big responsibility and I've been really careful with it ever since I got it back. But overall, I'm glad to have the bike back in general. It feels good to have it home It feels good to be able to actually have it in my possession again instead of at a mechanic shop where it's just sitting there and I'm making payments on it on something that I'm not even able to ride. But at the same time, just having it home in general makes me feel a whole lot better about this entire situation. Since I've gotten the bike back, I've done a couple small modifications to the bike. Nothing too crazy, nothing fancy, but just some things that make it look a little bit better in my eyes. Hopefully you guys appreciate everything that I have done to it so far and everything that I'm planning on doing it. And today I'm going to be going over things that I plan on doing, as well as other videos that have to do with the bike that I'm planning on filming soon. So hopefully you guys like that. So the first thing I did want to mention that I had changed on this was actually the turn signal covers. They originally came as being orange, but I ended up switching them out for the black ones. It gives it a really smoky look and it makes it look really badass from the front. I overall like the look of the front of the bike now, that it doesn't have those really bright orange, covers. So the next thing I did want to mention that I switched out on this was actually the gas cap. If you notice right here, I have a black one on. Originally, it comes with a chrome one. And I usually don't mind chrome and black, but I did want all black for the look of this bike. So just having that one small detail did make the difference, and it does give it the look that I'm going for. So originally when I got this bike, I had a couple plans for it already. The first thing I did want to do was end up switching the mid controls for some forward controls. Since then, and since me riding the bike, I have decided that I am not going to do that. I do like the feel of the bike the way that it is, so I am going to keep that how it is right now. One thing that I do want to change on this though is definitely going to be the pipes. I do not enjoy the sound of these. There's nothing special about them. So I would like some louder pipes, nothing that's too crazy that's gonna completely set off car alarms when I'm going through neighborhoods. But it would be nice to actually be able to hear the bike while I'm riding it, because that is something that I am not able to currently do. Now, one nice thing about the 2021 Street Bob is it actually comes with the back seat and the back peg. So that is one thing that I am not gonna need to adjust. I was originally going to get the 2020 and then add a back seat, add back pegs. So that already comes as is, and I don't need to switch anything out on it. One thing I am going to change on this bike is I'm actually going to get a fairing for the front. I've been looking into a couple different kinds. I don't want anything that's too big and too crazy, that's going to completely make it a huge front end. All I want is something that's simple and basic and going to give me at least a little bit of wind protection. The first time I took this thing out riding, the wind was completely pelting my chest. I did enjoy the fact of just feeling that wind just blow through me and everything. But at the same time, when I was trying to ride on the highway and everything, it did make for an uncomfortable ride. And I am trying to have this thing be as comfortable as possible. I understand that I'm not going to get too much comfortability out of it. It's not a big, huge bike that's going to have all the fixins and everything. But I am trying to have this be my main and only bike. And so I want it to be as comfortable as of a ride as possible. I know that other people are going to be like, oh, you sound like a bitch right now. Oh, the wind is half of why we ride in the first place. But to be honest, I don't really give a fuck what any of you guys say, because half of you guys are pieces of shit and haters anyway. So I'm going to do what I want. It's my bike, not yours. So y'all can kiss my ass. So I am going to get a fairing, nothing too crazy, but just something to at least cover up the front, give it a little bit of more of the look that I want. And then on top of that, to cover up the speakers. And that's the next thing that I want to go over with you guys. So the speakers that I'm going to get are going to be the Plex Audio 2.0. If you guys know about bikes, I'm pretty sure you guys have at least heard about this speaker system. It goes in between the handlebars. It has these big subs, and then basically it just comes down in the front at a good angle. And the fairing that I'm planning on getting actually covers it up perfectly. It fits right inside and it literally bumps. Now, the big thing about the Plex Audio 2.0 is these speakers are actually $800. I understand that that's a little bit pricey, but if I'm going to be riding, I actually want to hear what I'm playing instead of just having these cheapy $50, $250 speakers off of Amazon that are the little clip-on ones. And I don't really like the way that those look overall on the bike anyway. I get that it's not all about the aesthetics of it, but I do want this thing to look as clean as possible. So I'm going to get the Plex Audio 2.0. I'm going to get the fairing for the front. Other than that, the only thing that I want to actually do to this bike is cover this up. Now, I don't hate it that bad because of the fact that this looks super clean. I mean, if we get into it, it fades from that orange into the black. And I really like the way that they did it. Overall, the graphic on this looks really cool and I enjoy it. But overall, I would really like this thing to be all black. So instead of painting it and devaluing this bike, I would rather just wrap it. So I'm going to vinyl wrap this bike. I'm going to do a second video where I'm actually showing you guys me wrapping the bike, how I did it exactly step by step, and hopefully you guys enjoy that video. After I've wrapped it completely black, it's going to be a gloss black, and then I'm going to go and actually get some decals, maybe some Harley Davidson decals or something that actually looks cleaner, that's just a white decal or a gray decal. And I'm actually going to have a Harley Davidson logo on the side, but something that's not this orange color. And I'm hoping that that makes this thing look way cleaner than it does right now. Those are the only real modifications that I'm going to be making to it right now. Yeah, it isn't much, but at the same time, I do think that those little things are going to make this thing look way better. I'll be posting up a video soon to show you guys updates as I'm making them to the bike, as well as the vinyl wrapping video. I will show a complete step-by-step of how I wrapped this thing, how I took the gas tank off, how we wrapped it, and then how we put on different graphics and everything else, so that if you guys want to do something custom to your guys' bike as well, that you guys will enjoy it as well. All right, guys, that's it for today's vlog. If you guys like the video and you want to follow me on my journey as my bike progression forwards, please subscribe to the channel. This isn't a channel for necessarily my motorcycle or motorcycles in general. I basically make vlogs about what I do on a day-to-day basis in the rap world, going out and clubbing, going out and having fun and doing things that I like doing. So if you guys like watching my life as a person, please subscribe. If you guys are just in it for the bike, come and tune in every once in a while and at least see where I'm at as far as the bike. Also, if you guys didn't know, I make rap music. If you guys are interested in that type of stuff, please go check out my other channel. It's called Cali the Kid. I'll be linking it in the description below. But yeah, guys, that's it for today's episode. I'll see you guys next time.